Thank you all for joining us for our November General Board meeting. It's taking place a week earlier just because next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Also wanted to note that we will not have a General Board meeting for the month of December. We will resume in January. And also please note that we will be having our holiday get together Friday, December 16th at the Carriage House at 6 p.m. It is potluck. And in the case that you aren't able to bring anything, we are taking donations. George, I think you said $25 if you're not able to bring anything. So we do appreciate your contributions. We do want to be able to spend time and celebrate together. It's been a tough past few years, and this would be a great way for us to build some cohesiveness as a board. So we're looking forward to seeing you December 16th. It's a Friday, 6 p.m. at the Carriage House. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Ursula if you have any questions. Okay, and we were just talking about participation, being on camera. George explained. Right now, we do ask that you are on camera, but when we go into full hybrid mode, that's when, if you're participating virtually, you will be required to be on camera. So for voting purposes, as of now, we ask that you're on camera. If you're not able to, just give us a heads up. Are you at the meeting, Desiree? Okay. Any questions? And as George mentioned, we're still waiting notification. The current rule is set to expire November 22nd. So we will be notified shortly after it in January. We will be in person or we will continue to be virtual. We will keep you posted. And with that, we're going to move into the public gallery session. We do ask that you keep it to 3 minutes or less. We do want to keep today's meeting moving smoothly. It is Thanksgiving next week, so we know a lot of people have things to do. So 3 minutes or less. And if you can please raise your hand. If you have, if anyone would like to speak in the public gallery. Let me see if there's any hands up. Caitlin Franco.
Hi, everyone. Hello. First, I just want to apologize. My 4-year-old is in the background, so if you hear TV on, that's her. I'm actually going to present tonight with Floriska Carter, who's also here. And unfortunately, it won't let me screen share, but I just wanted to say hello. I work for Equality Charter School, which is a charter school we opened in 2009 in Co-op City. I was a founder of the school, and then we opened a high school in Castle Hill in 2014. We have really strong relationships with the community boards in those areas, Community Board 10, Community Board 9. They come to Career Day. We've had them tour our school, and we're actually going to be coming to your neighborhood. And so we just wanted to first just come to this meeting. We'll definitely be present at a lot of future meetings to talk about our programs, to talk about enrollment. But we are opening an elementary school in fall of 2024. And so we just wanted to make sure, so it's a little far out, but we feel like it's really important to start being familiar with all of you and you familiar with us to talk about our school and program. 3 minutes goes by really quick. So I wanted to let Floriska, who actually handles enrollment and will be out in the community a lot. So Floriska, if you wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about the school or anything you want to add.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great, because I was having volume issues on my computer. I'm calling in from my phone. I'm excited to join you guys at the meeting. As Caitlin said, we're going to be opening our school in the fall of 2024. And what we do at Equality is really special and different. We pay attention to the whole child. Our leadership team has been with us for a very long time. Our staff retention is excellent. I've never experienced that level of staff retention, that high level of staff retention in any school that I've worked, which is consistency for our scholars and our families. And we're just excited to be part of the neighborhood and looking forward to working with you guys very closely and getting to know you all in person.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's questions. I mean, there's a lot we could talk about. We are hoping to join some future meetings to talk a little more about the program, to have our principal. She's been with, she's worked for 12 years with the school. She'll be the founding principal in the neighborhood, so she'll definitely want to come back. And our parent coordinator, Daniela, said she can't get in the meeting. I know she really wants to chat as well, so she'll be back. I don't know if anyone has questions for us other than we'll be sure to come back to a future meeting maybe to talk a little bit more about our school and anything else you want to know.
Caitlin, you should connect with our chair of the education committee, Talene, so that you can present further there. Go ahead,
Okay.
George, start.
Yeah, so there was a meeting, I understand. I don't know if you guys attended or if we're even invited, but we did get a call from the CEC 11, which is where you would be located by coming to this area. I also got a phone call from a couple of my board members who may be on here. I don't know if Tolene is here and Johnny Goff, but there was some concern with you guys coming here. Were you able to meet with CEC 11 at any of their meetings, or were you able to do that, or are you planning on doing that?
Yeah, so Teresa, I think Teresa from CC, she came and toured our middle school about 2 months ago. So I don't, at that point, there were no concerns. So I don't know if there's been concerns since then, since I spoke to her. So I can definitely reach out to her to see if there's anything specific. I do know that we found out from watching the news that the developer so it's 801 Bartholdi Street. And so we found out from watching the news that we were displacing another school, which we were unaware of. The developer had taken over the building. And so that might be, what had also happened. It was something that was upsetting to us. I know Councilman Riley's, someone's on the call from them. We have a close relationship with them, and we actually found out through their office what was happening. They partner with our middle school, and so I can definitely reach out to those partners. It was upsetting to us. It's definitely not how we want our entrance to a community to be, because we have been doing this for 15 years in the Bronx, but we're definitely new to this area. Our middle school is in District 11. We were chartered for District 11, so that's why we're excited to be in a different part of District 11, but open up. But I'll definitely reach out to those people. So thank you. And I don't know if any of the board members, if you're on this call, if you want to, I don't know if you can shoot a message on this platform, but I would definitely welcome reaching out to you directly, to talk about any concerns.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my email in the chat. You should have access to the chat.
Yep.
Tolene is on the call, and she just
I
put
see hers.
her email in the chat.
Okay.
So if you can reach out to both of us, because I know Teresa did reach out to me, Teresa Roberts, and
Yeah.
she was trying to get a hold of somebody there. So it is a little odd that you guys met 2 months ago, and she's reaching out to the community board. If you just, like I said, I'll put my information in the chat. If you can just give me your contact information, and we'll have a
Okay.
conversation from there.
I think I sent you a few emails, so I'll re-forward it to you and you can have it. So yeah, and then Tolene, I wrote your information down. So if there's anyone else, if you put it in the chat, I'll reach out to you.
Talene, you have your
Yes.
hands up?
Yes, I do. Good evening, family. How are you? You were speaking kind of fast, so I'm sorry I didn't understand. You said that someone from the community board came and toured the school?
No, someone from CEC 11, Teresa Roberts, had toured our middle school. Our middle school's in Co-op City. And so she had come out, but this is our first time interacting with the community, with your community board.
And when was that, may I ask?
Teresa's visit, October? No, I'm looking now. I think it was around end of October.
Okay, so as you noticed, my email and my phone number is in the chat. Please give me a call
Definitely,
or email, however you'd like to do it, so that we can have a conversation.
definitely.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Talene. Next, Dr. Adeyemi. Dr. Adeyemi.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be here again. I'm the president of the 47th Precinct Community Council. I think I've been away for a while, and I'm just glad to be back to the community. I want to bring a message, number one, that we're going to be having our Christmas event. It's not a meeting, it's the last event for the year for us. It's going to be December 14th. We want it to be a community-oriented Christmas celebration. So we'll be sending out flyers in the next 2 days. So we're enjoying each and every one of you to be part of the this celebration, having worked for the whole year, all those complaints and efforts to attend to them. So it's time for us to get together and celebrate what we have. The issue I want to really point out is, as far as the precinct council is concerned, most of the challenges that we've been having that people come to the meeting to discuss is about noise complaint. And we know it's very, very prevalent in this community. So in an effort to make it like something that we can relate to, those noise complaints are majorly for our NCOs. The whole district precinct is divided into 4 zones. So we have 2 NCOs that are particular for each zone. So when we have those noise complaints, as good as it is for you to call 311 or community board, but the best bet is to call those NCOs, and we made sure that we made them public, their numbers, their names. They are the people that can easily come to you. They don't need to go through dispatch. So, and I know so many people continue to complain about this. But if you know your NCOs, they'll be the best bet for you to reach out to. You can call them, you can text them, you can have pictures from your neighborhood for what is going on and send it to them right away, and they'll be able to attend to you. The second problem with this neighborhood is about those truck that are being parked on our streets. They keep coming to us, but I just want to let us know that as far as the police is concerned, that problem is beyond them. So because they have told us times without number, they don't even have uh, vehicles to tow those trucks because they need special vehicles. Another thing is that even if they can tow, they don't have a place to tow them to. So I want to reach out to the community here that the issue, we can take it to our elected officials. What we need here in Northeast Bronx, because we are in between 2 major highways, 87 and also 95, that we don't have a place where this trailer or all these trucks, where they can stop, as you have it in various highways. So, but we need something in this area where they can park them. If we have something like that, definitely it will leverage our problems here. And if we don't have that, we need a land that the city, the state, or even the federal government will allocate to some of these individuals as a place where they can tow those trucks to. So that is actually our challenge. It's not about the police. The police, they've been given tickets, they boot those vehicles, but whatever they are paying is just okay for them to get the tickets all the time. So I don't want the community to feel like the police are not doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do in that area. But the problem is they don't have a place to tow the vehicle, and they don't even have vehicles to tow them. So whatever we can do as community leaders, let us speak to our people. It's a matter of rezoning. Let them find a land for us. Personally, I believe a problem cannot continue to be a problem. It should be solved at a point in time. So let's speak to them, and then they will be able to help us. So far, I don't want some of us to be tired of calling the police because you call them, they don't show up. But we all know how it works. They prioritize the degree of the danger of the call. But definitely, if we don't call them, they cannot be everywhere all the time. So we still want you to call them. And we on the precinct council, we made efforts that every complaint that people bring to our meetings, we will follow it to the letter and we'll get back to the community. So I want to appreciate everyone here. So let's keep making those calls, reaching out. You can email us, text us, call individuals that you know on the board. I believe we have one of us who is a board member, Alfredo. So if you're used to him, you can also call him as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adeyemi. That's a common complaint that we often discuss here. Thank you. Next, we have Tony B.
That's me. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm curious, is anything being done about the pop-up car washes all over the area?
Yeah, let me say something to that, because somehow it's also one of the issues that is always coming up on the board. See, the concern we have here is that the aspect of police enforcement in this area has changed. That particular issue that you mentioned is now under the consumer affairs. It's no more under the police. Police are not really expected to go to all these pop-up car washing, or maybe you see individuals fixing cars or in front of the house. That is no more under the enforcement of the police department. It has to go through the consumer affairs. They feel like these people are entrepreneurs, they're trying to make little money for themselves. So that is why police is kind of helpless in that area. So, but I believe the last time we had this conversation, somebody from the mayor's office told us frankly that they're working on it and they want to see how to change the language so that even if these people are trying to make money for their families or to keep to make ends meet, it's also a determined, detrimental to the health of the community. So somebody from the mayor's office said that, but I want to emphasize here, that is not issue that police are following up anymore. It's been taken away from them so that we know that.
Well, my concern is that these people are using water, city water, and if there is any sort of a fire in any of these areas where they are, we will not have any water pressure. And I thought that it was illegal to open a hydrant on the street other than by the fire department. So I'm not sure about whose jurisdiction it comes under. I just think, and I mean, they have gotten more brazen by having big flags out and they're blocking sidewalks, and I don't understand.
It
I
comes
think,
Tony,
under this
uh,
year, consumer affairs. It comes under them. So those are the people we need to reach out to.
all right, Toba, I'll take it from here.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
Thank you. Tony, it's not these illegal car washes, shouldn't even say that. The car washes are not illegal unless they don't have permits. So they have to have a permit from DEP to draw the water. They should not be washing cars directly from the pump, but they can use the pumps to fill up. And that's what I've seen. We have a number of these places, and they're filling up. They have, trucks, vans that they have these big gallon things that they fill up from the pump, and that's perfectly permissible if they have a DEP permit. Toba is absolutely right. The enforcement agency is the Department of Consumer Affairs. We have a really bad situation on Webster Avenue with all of them. But this requires a legislative fix. Prior to the pandemic, this wasn't an issue. 2-3 years ago, we didn't see these things on the street. And the city council, not this city council, the old city council, we basically have like 90% new membership there, voted and supported the fact that they could do this. I think that it raises serious challenges, like you said, Tony, but it is not illegal. That's why it's not that enforcement is lax, it's that it's perfectly permissible to do this. I think that it should not be something, but that's a personal belief. You have to get the rest of the city council to vote on this in order to end it. Like I said, it's new legislation that happened over the pandemic, and unfortunately, this is what we're left with.
oh, I didn't know that it was being condoned or that it was even self-legal, quote unquote. I
It
thought
is.
that they just popped up
It,
in any block that they wanted. So
it's
that
legal as long as
explains
they
why
have the
some,
proper permits.
so that explains also those very large trucks that I see parked pretty much close to wherever they're doing the car washing. So they can fill up and then they can wash cars. Ah,
Yes.
who do we call? Because never mind. Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Oh,
Okay, next up, Cameron Burrows.
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hey, hello, good evening, everyone. Sorry, it's been a really, really long day. I'm from the Bronx office, Department of City Planning. I'm the liaison for Community Board 12, taking over for Camila. And I was here for the Pratt retaining hearing, but I knew that was a very formal process. So this is my way of officially introducing myself to you all. And I won't take the full 3 minutes, but I heard mention of a holiday party on the 16th, and our office has a few public events going on that week. So if that invitation is open to city planning, I would love to stop by and meet some of you in person. In addition, I'm also taking over the Wakefield Village project from Alejandra, and I'm now the lead planner. So I've just been assigned a lot of the work that's been going on in my office, and I look forward to meeting you guys in person. And I don't mean to put a spotlight on this person, but I do see some snake plants in the background. So if you can, I've somehow managed to kill a lot of them, and I would love some advice. And yeah, I won't take the full 3 minutes, but I'm glad to be in this full board meeting, and apologize for the stuttering. It's been a very long day. But yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Thank you. You probably overwatered them like I did. I had the same problem.
You know what? That's probably it.
Please come to our celebration. We would love to get to know you. And make sure you drop your information or send it to me. I would love to have your contact info. Thank you.
Okay, I think Camila is still forwarding me the invites for the board meeting, so I'm not sure if there's a way I can be officially on that email list.
Yeah, Ursula can add you. If you drop your information or even call the office, they'll definitely add you. But maybe
Okay,
drop your information in the chat box.
okay,
And
sounds
Ms.
good.
Bloomsfield will capture the information for us in our minutes. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Talene, did you have something? I see your hand is up to share. Talene?
So Prince is here. Someone speak.
On mute, I'm back. Okay, I just wanted to quickly ask Dr. LaCrown Toba if he would please drop his information in the chat for me. I tried to reach him. I tried to reach you from the number that was on the bottom of one of the flyers, and I did not get any response. So I might have the wrong number, but I would appreciate talking with you when you can. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Vernice next.
Hello, good evening. My name is Vernice Riley. I live here, here in the Bronx. I'm a homeowner. And there's a lot of problems that around the park in the Bronx. There's a lot of commercial vehicles, illegal commercial vehicles that are parked around the parks, and they do not move. All these trailers and all these mobile homes, they stay around our parks and they don't move at all. And because they're parked around the park, you cannot give them a ticket because it's not like it's an alternate parking situation where they have to move their vehicle. And I was just proposing, is there any way that you guys could put up a sign that says no commercial vehicle park around the parks? Maybe that would just be a way to deter them. I'm just asking. Something has to be done because they just park there 24 hours. So when Mr. Doctor, what's his name again? I'm sorry.
Toba.
Yeah. So yeah, when he mentioned that the police department have been giving them tickets, when it's parked around the park, they don't have to get any tickets because there's no sign that said for them to move. So I'm just proposing that maybe you guys could put up signs that says that no commercial vehicles should park around the parks. That's number one. Number two, for the moped bikes, is there any way that these bikes could be insured and licensed? Because they're not following the rules on the street. They're riding on our sidewalks, and it's an issue. Because what if they hit someone else? So that means if they hit someone, nothing happens? I mean, how does this thing go? I'm trying to figure out what it is that the city is planning to do with all these moped bikes that pop up all over the place, and people are driving it on the sidewalk, and they just have no license, no insurance. I just want to know what it is that you guys are planning to do. And last but least, I'm a landlord, and there's issues where tenants could stay in your home for whatever amount of time and don't pay you, and Section 8 turn around and still give them a transfer to move to somebody else's place. I think that is very unfair. I don't know if this is where I could bring this issue up to, but I think it's unfair that a tenant could live in your place for a long time, a Section 8 tenant, and then they turn around and give them a transfer to move to somebody else's home, maybe to do this, most likely to do the same thing. When does it stop?
Thank you, Vernice. George, do you have any responses?
Yeah, so for the first issue, commercial parking of any vehicle in the city of New York is illegal overnight. You'll see the signs in Manhattan that say commercial vehicles for loading, unloading, certain time frames. But overnight parking or any parking for extended periods of time of a commercial vehicle with a commercial license plate is illegal. The cops don't need a sign to write a summons. I think Toba spoke to this a little bit, so I'm not going to get into the weeds on that. The second issue was the mopeds. So there was an article that came out. I don't know if you're making a distinction between the like electric scooters and the bikes that we have now, like Lime and Vio and stuff like that. The city, it's been a very popular thing. Or there was a press release that came out that they were extending it in the Northeast Bronx. We shared that with everyone. Luke, if you want to speak on that particular issue, you're more than welcome to hop in here. But you know, but if you're talking about like delivery scooters and stuff like that, my understanding of the law is that if you have, I don't know how to say this properly, I'm sorry. If the engine is not of a particular size, let's say it's an electric scooter, it doesn't need to be registered. You don't require insurance. You know, like Vespa scooters that have gasoline engines and stuff like that, that I think it's 2.5 liters or something. Again, there's a state law that requires registration depending on the motor type of the vehicle. Most of these electric scooters are not that. And therefore they don't require registration and they don't require to be insured. I do understand. I've seen motorcycles driving on sidewalks, gasoline-powered motorcycles on White Plains Road where we work. These are our people. So these are people who live in our community, who are doing these things. So, you know, that's a conversation I think we need to have in every household. All that stuff is illegal anyway. If somebody's riding on the sidewalk, that's illegal. You know, it becomes an enforcement issue. Your final issue, this is not, I'm not necessarily particular about what you're complaining about, that if a tenant, any tenant has the right to move to whatever apartment they want, whether they have a Section 8 voucher or not. We live in America. This is what they're able to do. If you're saying you're not getting paid because the city's not paying you and you're one of the Section 8, that's a completely separate issue. We can talk to HRA. You know, we'll send your complaint over to HRA and you can have that conversation with them about whatever. But again, I'm not necessarily sure about the nature of the complaint. You know, I live in an apartment. I can move tomorrow if I wanted, you know, as long as I fulfill my lease obligations. And that's true of anybody on this phone call. So, you know, people have the right to move, even Section 8 people.
Thank you, George. Okay, Luke, you have your hands up. Did you want to reply or share any info?
Sure. So one thing, I'm on the board and I live in the area, and I take a bike to work every single day. It's my main mode of transportation. And something that I've noticed is that a lot of times, pretty much exactly every day, the bike lanes in our communities are blocked by double parked cars. And what happens is that when these safe streets infrastructure are blocked, it creates it so that there are no safe spaces for bicycles to ride. And so what people do is choose the safest space. And a lot of times that's the sidewalk. And it's not right, it's not fair. I've been filing 3-1 complaints every time I can to try to get the police department to enforce the bike lanes, which are safety improvements in our areas, in our neighborhood. But the NYPD is starting to just close them out and claim that it's not their jurisdiction. I'm working with the city council member's office and Cynthia who's trying to raise this with the local NCOs. But if we don't have safe spaces and we don't even uphold those safe spaces, where are people supposed to go? So I think we need to, acknowledge that that the people that might be riding on the sidewalk are looking for safe spaces. And if we keep on parking in the bike lanes, I'm not about to, I don't do it, but other people who aren't as confident aren't about to try to compete with a 3,000-pound SUV. That is very scary. So I hear you. I'm all for trying to get this to be improved, but the reality is that the city isn't enforcing the safe spaces we have, and it's really unfortunate. So happy to be involved in those conversations.
Thank you, Luke. Next, we're going to go to Priscilla Prince.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to, Luke is absolutely right. And that's actually for the community board. We voted, Bernice, for these bike lanes. So you have them now on White Plains Road. And they're installing literally right now on the northern part, like going up towards, we're on 229th Street. They just painted them today or yesterday. And they're still going up past 233rd Street. So that's something that our transportation committee voted and the full board supported. So we're very happy about that. So thank you, Luke, for raising that issue.
Thank you, Priscilla Prince.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Priscilla Prince, and I'm the Parent Education Liaison for iRaise Girls and Boys International. And what I do is get parents engaged in their community as well as their children's education in the schools by means of reaching out to them, doing workshops with them as far as community involvement, school engagement, which is very important. We believe that a healthy parent will, lead on to a healthy student, a healthy student, a healthy school, healthy community, healthy society. So that's our push with the parents. And so we're getting parents more involved in what they do in their community, what they do in their children's school. So we provide solutions as far as mental wellness, social emotional care. We do, all sorts of collaboration with different communities and organizations that's in the neighborhood as far as resources they may not know that they're privy to, even if it's food pantries, anywhere from job readiness, self-wellness, mental check-ins and stuff like that. So it's a whole holistic approach, as well as, being active in the community is so important. Making your voices heard is so important. Being involved is important. Come on, solutions. We're solution driven. So if you would be able, anyone that's here to have any resources they would like to, share with me that I can present to the parents or to the schools will be awesome. We're also in, not only in the Bronx, but we're in the 5 boroughs as well. And Shaniqua Moore is the CEO and founder of iRaise as well. Thank you for that. And if you have any questions or if you're able to share and collab with us, we're looking for collaborations. If your organization or whatever, whoever you represent, have some resources for us that we can provide our parents, we will greatly appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Priscilla. Next, we have Virginia Sanders.
Good afternoon, good evening. I just want to remind everyone that the Wakefield Taxpayers Civic League is having their meeting at your office tomorrow at 7:30. And we are raffling off at least 10 turkeys, thanks to Senator Bailey. So that might be incentive for y'all to come on out.
Thank you, Virginia.
All right.
Next, we have Dwayne Bather.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is my first time joining this meeting, and I hope what I'm about to say is within the context of what usually is discussed in these meetings. But my particular concern has been surrounding the level of speed that vehicles travel through on my street. And it's almost like my street is where you would go if you want to go really fast. That's almost like what the mindset seems to be. All hours of the night, cars with loud setups, revving through the block very fast, all hours of the day. So I work with my neighbor, and we eventually started a petition, and we amassed a good amount of signatures from people who kind of are thinking in the same realm. And so I'm at a point now where I have a 311 issue open with the DOT, and over the years they've been responding saying that we have too many curb cuts on the block for them to implement any speed reducing measures. So we're kind of at a stalemate in a sense, not sure what the next step should be, or is there a next step even possible at this point? Well, some things that we've done to take initiative is to get signatures. So I'm kind of like, putting it out there to see if anyone has some feedback about what would be the next best steps to take, or if next steps are even possible at this point.
Hey, I'm sorry. Oh, Dwayne. So you put in a request, as I understand it, for a speed reducer, and it was responded by DOT that due to the fact that there's too many curb cuts, you can't have one, right?
Correct.
All right. So we actually encounter this a lot in the district. It's a challenge, and I don't know how many times that request was submitted. My email is in the chat, so if you want to shoot me the email that you got back from DOT, we can ask to see if there's other traffic calming measures that can be implemented. I don't know where you live, so I don't know, like, if you live in a school zone, for example, because then further things can be taken. There's other speed reduction issues, but again, that DOT has parameters as to where they can and cannot put what they call speed humps. So if I'm willing to do the legwork to just find out where DOT is at with your request and see if there's anything else to be done. But like I said, just shoot me your, I don't know if you can see the chat. Just shoot me your stuff. Especially, you got a DOT number on that letter. So it's like DOT hyphen, I think it's like 11 numbers. If you can send me that, or if you can actually just send me the copy of the letter, I'll follow up with DOT on your behalf.
Will do. Appreciate it.
Thanks, George. John, did you have something to share?
Good evening, everyone. One of the things with speed bumps is speed bumps are dangerous. People don't realize that. Everyone, when it sees me, asks, why can't I have a speed bump? Why can't I have a speed bump? Think about this. When you have a speed bump and a car is speeding, the car becomes a projectile. Then now you have a car flying in the air out of control, and it could do more damage. So that's why one of the reasons DOT is reluctant to put speed bumps. They only really put speed bumps in blocks that have cars in it. Call Stricker if you're online. You could probably talk about this too, but speed bumps is not the answer. The answer is the people that live around here need to stop speeding. I live on Murdoch and 233rd. It's like a racetrack around here, and we need to do something about it. I've tried to contact Councilman Riley. We need to do something. Someone is going to get killed. Honestly, that's my opinion.
Cynthia, have you heard Mr. John Isaac? If you could relay that message to Councilmember Riley, that would be great. Next up, we have Kears Skinner Parks.
Hi, yes, I know this subject just came up a few minutes ago, but I have two concerns. Mostly is they were talking about the yellow electric bicycles that are going around, and I know Mr. Torres said they just extended the use of them. But isn't there somebody, they're like laid out all over the street, in front of walkways, in front of your houses, in front of your driveways. I live most people have places where there are a lot of seniors that come in and out of buildings, and sometimes you can't come out of the building because you have these green bikes or scooters all over the place, and I'm
They're
told
heavy. They're heavy.
they're heavy. And I was told that someone was supposed to come around and pick them up, but I literally counted like 10 laying around in one block. I live over by Tilden Towers, and they're just all over the place. And so I don't know how often someone is supposed to come and pick them up. And then the other issue that I was told that I would bring to the community board is because I live in that area, all the post office trucks are parked all over the community. So, I mean, parking is limited as they are, but don't they have like a parking lot or something? They're literally all up and down 211th and Tilden Street.
No, they the parking the oh my God, the post office trucks lost their parking lot because that the land that they were using is being converted into a building. I believe this is the L&M development on 212th Street. They have two buildings going up, fronting either side. That was a concern we had expressed to our congressional leaders. Um, um, but yeah, we agree with you on the issue of the parking of the post office trucks. The scooter issue, they do come out. I live in Co-op City. I see them. They come out at night. Because they replace the batteries. They put them upright. Um, it's again. This is a situation. We have the same concerns here in Co-op City. Co-op City is the largest NORC in the United States. Um, so, we have older people here. Um, when you wake up in the morning sometimes, or especially in the afternoon when the kids come out of school, a lot of these scooters are laying sideways on the sidewalk. Um, DOT, we had asked DOT, and we could ask this for your area as well. You'll see it or you'll notice it on White Plains Road. There are supposed to be parking pens there's little boxes drawn out on the sidewalk, little white boxes, or even in the street. I think they have one like on 228th Street, 230th. They have little boxes at the ends of the corners where you're supposed to deposit these scooters. It doesn't always work out that way. Again, this is about people's consideration and how neighborly they are. When I use the scooters, and the fact that you have that many scooters in your neighborhood means that it's a very popular thing. People are using them. That's why they're parking them there. So, more can be done, but yeah, I can put and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the article that came out in the chat so that you can read it. But every time you see something wrong, I suggest people call 311 and make the complaint. Maybe we can get them to do 2 shifts, but I do know that they do come out because I've seen them myself. Come out. But they only come out at night. Like they literally come out when we're sleeping, because that's when they're uprighting the bicycle so that in the morning they're all upright. And you'll notice that if you leave early in the morning, all the bikes are upright. But in the late afternoon, when you're coming back home from work or whatever, they're all sideways. They're thrown everywhere. But that's because that's the way the people who use them leave them. So, or somebody else is knocking them down. But it is what it is. We encourage people to call 311 because we make those same complaints.
Thank you, George. So I do just want to call out that we do have to get to voting matters and we need our board members, so we do have to speed this up a little bit. Tony and Toba, if you can write your comments in the chat since you already had the floor. Apologies. We're going to go now to Anthony Leterio.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Leterio. I'm the Outreach Worker Supervisor here at Bragg North. We're an anti-gun violence program that's located on 825 East 233rd Street. I just want to give you a brief breakdown of who we are. We work with all youth 14 to 24 that's been in trouble before. If you know anyone that either needs to get back into school, help with school, any type of vocational training, you can have them reach out to us. I'll leave my information and the address to the program as well in the chat. Thank you all for the time.
Thank you so much for that information. Next, we have Sherry.
Hi, I'm Cherie. I'd like to know if the community board, this is from Teeman Avenue again, I'm quite sure we're familiar by now. Can they help us set up a meeting with the developers of Mona Development to discuss what we would like them to at least look at our sewer system and see? And my second question is, I would like clarification on what George said last night about the 11 and 8 ratio. What was he talking about? Because I really don't know. Today I did call a Roto-Rooter and they told me exactly how many times they've been out to my home. So I don't know who else he was talking about, and I can give him that information. So I really would like to know. We are having a problem with the overflow of water, and we aren't getting any satisfaction from anyone. So I would like to know who we should see and how we can go about getting the help before this other building comes up. Because the sewer system is definitely, I have 2 sump pumps in my basement. I get water from people in the next block up. I get the rainwater. So I'm working overtime. And I'm not the only one that has that in my house. So we would like to know who we should see or who we can call to get some help. That's
I'm not familiar with you're referring to calling 311, 311?
Oh, that's what you were talking about when you said the 11 to 8 ratio?
I don't recall saying 11-8 ratio. I don't know what that means. I did say that.
Last night you said that you don't like people to tell you things that are not true. Someone
That's right.
mentioned the 11 and you said it were only 8. So I'm trying to see what you were
Oh,
referring
no. So I was referring to 311 complaints.
to. Okay.
In the last 4 years,
Mhm.
I'll restate it.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 4 years, there have only been 12 complaints filed by your block, Teeman Avenue to Hammersley. You're a dead end block. So from Hammersley to the end of Teeman is that's just one block. There have been 12 complaints. 4 of those complaints were duplicates.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the same person or the same homeowner calling in the same complaint. You're making a claim that this new development is going to overwhelm your system. You just stated now that you have 2 sub pumps and you've made all these complaints. They're not registered anywhere.
I didn't say I complained to 311. I said I called Roto-Rooter because the water came in my house and I had to call my insurance company and Roto-Rooter. I never thought about 311 to call about water in my house to be put on a list until somebody comes to help me. My goal is to get the
Nobody
water.
helps you. Listen, I'm not a homeowner. I live on the 29th floor, so I don't have this issue.
Mm-hmm.
But we have plenty of homeowners throughout the district. Our district is primarily homeowners. We've had substantial rains that have flooded out our board members. We have board members here that live in homes that had their homes flooded out during substantial rains. We've had FEMA come to our district, and you're saying you've never claimed any of that.
Not with 311, no.
It's not done with 311. You make a complaint to 311 to say, oh, hey, because you've complained that there's sewer backups sometimes. So that is a 311 complaint. You've never complained to DEP to say that you had a sewer backup.
No.
Then how is the city supposed to know that there's an issue if you're not reporting it?
Well, you know what? And when I have an emergency, I just don't think about the DEP. I'm thinking about getting the water out of my house. But now that you said this is what I'm supposed to do, then I'll be calling you because this happens quite frequently.
You don't call me, you call 311.
I'm going to call 311 and ask for DEP. Okay, but in the interim, can you help us have a meeting with this other company?
We can make a request.
Okay.
But it's not, as I stated, you came to our land use meeting. Our land use, we were talking about Wakefield Village. That has to go through a ULURP. ULURP stands for Uniform Land Use Review Process. That's actually what the community board does. We do planning and zoning. That is one of our responsibilities. This developer that you're referring to on Teeman is not asking for anything. He's not asking the city to change zoning. He's not, what he's building or they're building is perfectly permissible. Just like some developer built your house many years ago, that's what they're doing at the end of your block. I even went so far as to say, because the end of your block is an unfinished street, and we had a board member here, your house, I believe you're the end house, that's Burke Avenue. We're having conversations now in our transportation committee and our parks committee about turning Burke Avenue into a usable open street. That requires, or a passive park. That requires infrastructure to be built, which would help mitigate any water flooding, ponding issues by the fact that they have to build a curb and they have to extend the sewer. Right now, you don't have a sewer that goes
I
to the
know.
end of that street.
Right.
The
You're right.
developer has to build that and connect it to the city water main. And again, that might solve your flooding issues. So again, and all of that stuff. We had this conversation yesterday, so I don't want to belabor it. But those things have to be approved by. It has to be approved by the buildings department, but ultimately connections to the sewers and stuff like that are approved by DEP. So that is a process. You asked to see it. We told you that it's not visible until it is approved. Right now, it's a theory. Once they approve it, then it has to go onto the city's website. So I'm willing to help you with all that. I just don't like misstatements or misinformation being put out there so that you can sort of skew the argument about why this development should not be built.
Well, like I said, I never gave you those numbers, and I do appreciate you being willing to assist us. I thank you for it. But like I said, I've never called DEP, but I do have that problem, and I have records from my Roto-Rooter person. Now,
Thank
my
you,
next
Cherie.
question to you.
Cherie,
No, I got one more question.
I'm sorry, we
They
do have to
closed
keep.
Walgreens. I want to know what they're going to put there.
Excuse me, Cherie. We
Okay.
will continue these conversations, and we do appreciate you voicing your concerns. As you can see, many of us are voicing the same concerns. I'm a homeowner here. I've suffered the same issues as you. So I do invite you to continue the conversation. We can continue the conversation offline, but unfortunately, we do have to continue the rest of the meeting. If everyone else that has anything to share, we can please put it in the chat. We truly appreciate it. Now we're going to move on to the next part of our agenda, elected officials representative reports. Who would like to go first?
Hi, my name is Danelle. I'm from the Office of Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. Unfortunately, the member is out of town, so he cannot be here tonight. He does send his well wishes to everyone. We don't have any announcement at the moment, except that our office is collecting canned goods and non-perishable items for our food drive that goes through December 9th. I'll put our address in the chat again if anyone would like to drop off donations. And I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Cynthia, are you with us? Anything you want to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, sorry about that. So, just a couple of things. I'm going to make sure I put it in the chat again. But good evening, everyone. This is Cynthia from Councilmember Riley's office. The usual, our office is at 940 East Gun Hill Road and at 135 Einstein Loop. Phone number is 718-684-5509. Email is district12@council.nyc.gov. We have 4 turkey distributions coming up. So 2 will be tomorrow. One will be at 11:30 a.m. at 135 Einstein Loop, and one at 1 p.m. at 81 Tilden Street. Both are while supplies last. On Monday, November 21st, we're hosting the other 2, one at the YMCA at 10 a.m., which is at capacity, and then the other at 177 Dreiser Loop at 5 p.m. That one is first come, first serve. And then also, I did want to announce our veterans event, Saturday, November 19th from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. at 135 Einstein Loop, room 38. It's our veterans meet and greet, so we're going to have some food, some ceremonials for our veterans, and resources. Any questions, you can contact our office again, 718-684-5509, district12@council.nyc.gov. That's it for the announcements. And then I did also just want to reflect with the 311 reports, they are so helpful when we're collecting data for issues. Like, this is what we use to build a lot of our arguments and our reports when we're coming to these city agencies, to be like, no, like, this is a very real problem for our constituents. This is a lot of the data that we used for our flooding report and reports similar to it. So please do call 311, even if you don't feel like it's helping in that immediate moment. I do encourage you to still call because that becomes public record. Your information is kept secure, but the location that it happened and what you reported is able to be searched with New York City's open data.
Thank you. And Cynthia also has information in the chat if anybody wants to follow up with her. Alexis?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Beatrice.
Good
I'm happy to
evening.
be here with you all. The latest Borough President's report has been sent via email to all board members and to the board directly. If you haven't received it, please let me know in the chat. I just have one announcement for you all. We are having an event with all local electeds at Northeast Bronx YMCA on Monday morning at 10 a.m. So please, if you would like to have get any turkeys for you and your family, any fixings, please come by the Northeast Bronx YMCA at 10 a.m. on Monday. I will also write that in the chat again for anyone that missed it, and I will be here for the remainder of the meeting. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please be safe.
Thank you so much, Alexis. Any other elected official representatives on the line? Okay, so we're going to move on. The next item on the agenda, just really encouraging everybody.
Sorry, there was a hand for Senator Bailey. She put her hand up.
Harmony, yes, I see you now. It wasn't up before. I see you now. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much. Happy to be here tonight. And I have pasted information in the chat regarding our upcoming Thanksgiving events. We do have a few. So I won't, some of the events we are partnering with a lot of our local elected. So I won't repeat that information, but please feel free to reach out to our office or to me by email if you have any questions. In terms of constituent services, we are still open Monday to Friday, 10 to 5. We are seeing constituents in person by appointment, so reach out to us at that contact information there. We are receiving, as the weather's getting much colder, a lot of questions about heating and paying for heat. And so I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware the Home Energy Assistance Program is available to help individuals who are eligible to heat their homes. So please reach out to us if you need any assistance with that as well. If there's anything else, please, I'll include my contact information again if you need to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Harmony. Okay, we're going to continue now with the next item. Message from me, just encouraging everyone to continue to join us, participate, spread the word so that other residents in the community can also participate. Looking forward to connecting with you all at our holiday get-together. George, next is the district manager's report.
Sure. Good evening, board members, and happy Thursday. This time next week, we will all be celebrating one of my favorite holidays, Thanksgiving. I'd like to wish every one of my board members and everyone within earshot a happy Thanksgiving. I hope the day is spent with family and loved ones eating the foods you enjoy. I am thankful for Ursula, and I am thankful for the work that we do and the community we serve. In conclusion, today marks my 2,664th day as your district manager, or 7 years, 3 months, and 15th day of my tenure here. I am grateful for each and every day at the board. Thank you for your patience, and good night.
Thank you, George. Next item on the agenda is the approval of board minutes. I think we have a hand raised, no? Mr. Hall, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, there's no corrections or anything.
Mr. Hall, it's the same issue. We can't really hear you. I don't know if you need to get closer to the mic.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Wonderful. Anyone would like to second that?
Anthony, I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Ms. Benitez, did you capture that? Ms. Benitez?
Ms. Bromfield catches that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Michelle. Ms. Broomfield, did you capture that? Mr. Robert Hall gave a motion, and Mr. John Isaac second.
Oh,
It was Anthony. Anthony Reed seconded it.
Oh, Anthony Reed. Sorry.
Anthony Reed.
John gave it a third. Okay. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our financial report.
We should take a roll call.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
This way I can see who else is missing. All right, Judith Benitez, aye. Jerry Bennett,
Aye.
Denise Bond, Ivan Boraz,
Aye.
Carla Basati.
Aye.
Did someone come in behind that? Is Denise Bond here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're saying aye.
Yes, I was having trouble with some technical difficulty.
Okay, thank you. Michelle Brumfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown,
Aye.
Norbert Bryan, Desiree Campbell,
Aye.
Sadie Campbell, Sadie? Sadie Campbell?
Here?
She's here, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Aye.
Sadie Kimball?
Aye. All right, thank you. Joan Claude?
Aye.
Chris Devon? Chris Devon? Tolene Dickerson?
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger? Alfredo Figueroa?
Aye.
Johnny Goff? Robert Hall?
Aye.
Lisa Hayes?
Hayes.
John Isaac?
Aye.
Theodore James?
Aye.
Keisha Martin is excused. Lucille Martin? Lucille? Shanika Moore?
Aye.
You got my soup?
Clinton Mike?
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz? Is she here? Queenie Pananiga?
Aniagua, and I'm here.
What is your vote, Queenie?
I as well.
Anthony Reed?
Aye.
Sherry Samuels? Harry Singh? Carl Stricker?
Aye, with the comment that the meeting last month still hasn't been closed.
Say that again, Carl?
I said aye on the minutes, even though the meeting of last month was never closed.
Okay. Noted. Ms. Brumfield, you got that message? Banga Sabir?
Aye.
Luke Sabados?
Aye.
Deborah Walker?
Aye.
Ryan Walters? Deborah Tirado? Esther Yema?
Aye.
And Beatrice Cornell?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
And I'd like to
What, can I make a
close.
comment? Can I make a comment
no,
first,
no.
Beatrice?
Yes.
What did you say, Miss? Are you saying no or yes?
No, go ahead. What did you
Okay.
say? What was your
Miss,
question?
yeah, Miss Benita, can you tell me what's the breakdown that we have? How many board members are there? Are you able to say that before she requests for the closing of the initial meeting? I see you nodding your head. I'm asking you, can I have a point of privilege here to ask that? No?
Ms. Benitez, we can't hear you.
I haven't answered her yet.
Okay.
We're in the middle of voting and everyone's information is 38 people on the members on the board. Any further breakdown, I cannot give it to you at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, we will discuss that after.
No, that was from Cherie. That wasn't Michelle. Or was it?
It was Michelle.
The question was from Michelle.
Oh, so, okay, Michelle. So we have a quorum, Michelle.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Mr. Hall, you have a question?
No, but for the sake of closure, I'd like to make a motion for the termination of the previous meeting. If I can get a second.
Can you translate for us?
Yes, so Mr. Hall is making a motion to close the previous meeting.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle, that's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Benitez.
You're welcome.
So now we move to the next item on the agenda, financial report.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm looking at everybody's face. Just with the graces of God, just to say that we have not had to use any money from our Sunshine Fund. So we fortunately still have, at this time, $2,625. Okay, we'll be ready to talk about it after January for all the new members, so that you can contact me if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Quite welcome.
Okay, now we're moving on to the next item on our agenda, voting items, committee reports. First, we have housing. Hold on one second.
Housing was a combined meeting with land use.
Correct. So we had a combined meeting yesterday with our land use committee and our housing committee. And we have the first item is the Jewish Board is requesting a support letter for 59 units of supported housing at 4421 White Plains Road. The committee granted that.
No, we need a vote to accept the committee's report.
And so thank you very much. And now we need a vote to accept the committee's report.
Beatrice, I'm so sorry to break in here. I just want to clarify that the address is 4427.
It's 4427?
That's right.
Is that Bridget? Thank you. Okay, so do we need to fix that before we continue with,
No.
no?
No.
Okay, so we'll just make note of it. Ms. Michelle, can you make a note of that for us? That the correct address is 4427 White Plains Road?
Noted.
Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
This next vote, you're accepting a report for the housing and land use because it was a combined meeting?
Well, it's a combined hearing, yes.
Okay, thank you.
The second item, and so do we need to go one by one, or can we do it, can we?
No, you can use a general request. If everybody's in favor, say aye, oppose, let it be known, or you abstain, let it be known.
Great. And so the second item was the Welllife is requesting a support letter for 150 units of supportive housing. That one is also combined with affordable housing at 3363 White Plains Road.
Before you keep on going, Beatrice?
Yes.
You need to accept the report of the housing. Are we voting in reference to accepting the housing minutes, housing land use minutes?
Yes, we are. And so
then you go on to the next one after that.
So one by one. Okay. Are there any objections?
I abstain.
Okay,
You abstain for the minutes?
For the report.
Who's that, may I ask?
Ivan Boris.
Anyone else abstaining from the report?
Point of order. Just a question. Why does the address clarification not have to get adjusted? I mean, I looked it up, and this 4421 is an old housing number. Like, the address is going to be known for the history of this building as 4427. I'm not sure why we would object to renaming it 4427.
Nobody objected to it.
Oh, well, I'd like to just can we change it to 4427?
We can.
Okay, it just might be easier for our board records when we look up the vote.
So am I able to change it here now?
You can make an amendment to the initial statement of 4421 and change it to 4427. There's no issue in this.
Okay.
It was noted by Michelle. She noted it.
Yes, exactly. So it was taken care of.
Great. So it'll be in our minutes, the actual correct address, Luke.
That's correct.
Okay.
So I just need for clarification, this is Michelle. So
Hi,
the
Michelle.
report that was just now given for housing and land use, is there a motion to accept this report prior to the voting?
It should be.
Yes, you have to, Michelle, the
Okay.
way it works, the committee person says what happened, and I thank Beatrice for doing that. And if anything needs to be amended, we can amend it after the motion is made in your minutes. Amend it from 4421 to 4427, and then we'll take a vote on approving the letter.
Correct.
Just listen, just a point of nothing needs to be amended. The 4421 is just a typo on the agenda. All the emails we have is 4427. The letter of support is going to be written as 4427. It just came across on the agenda, I'm sorry, as 4421. That's all. All the emails have the proper address and everything. So, and when we had the meeting, I'm sure that 4427 was what it was. Not a big deal.
So 4427 White Plains Road and the second address of the second, I guess whatever 3336, are they combined for this, for
Well,
the
make them,
motion to accept?
yeah, I would prefer to make them separate.
Okay, so that's my clarification. So is it two, it's gonna be two motions?
Yeah, well, there's gonna be two motions. One
Okay,
for
okay.
4427 and one for the other one next to Western Beach.
Well, hold on, time out. You're confusing. You have to make a motion to accept the committee report. That's the first thing we're voting on.
Right, and we're voting on both of that.
Exactly. And then you
Right.
can take separate votes for the other two issues. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I call the
Thank you,
roll?
Jim.
Yes, please, Ms. Benitez.
Are we clear on everything before I call the roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Judith Benitez, aye. Egeria Bennett,
Aye.
Denise Bond,
Aye.
Ivan Boris, you said you abstain on that report?
Yes.
Okay. Carla Barsadi, Carla Barsadi, Michelle Braun,
Aye.
Michelle Bromfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown,
Aye.
Norbert Bryan, not present. Desiree Campbell,
Aye.
who's that?
Desiree Campbell?
You saying aye?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sadie Campbell,
Aye.
Joan Clark, Joan Claude,
Nay, nay, nay.
nay. Thank you, Joan.
Yes, you're welcome.
Chris Devone, not present. Tolene Dickinson,
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger, not present. Alfredo Figueroa,
Aye.
Johnny Goff, not present. Robert Hall,
Aye.
Lisa Hayes, not present. John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James, Theodore James, Theodore James, not present. Or Theodore, you're still here? Would you unmic yourself?
I don't see him here anymore, Ms. Benitez.
No, he's here. He's here.
Oh, Ted James, yeah.
Okay. He's not answering, so I don't know what his. Lucille Martin is not present. Shanika Moore.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Shanika. Shanika.
Aye.
She said,
Thank you. Clinton Mike. Clinton. Thank you, Clinton.
Aye.
I got you. Carmen Ortiz. Not present. Queenie Paniagua. Queenie, where are you?
Here, sorry, I'm walking my dogs, but aye.
Thank you. Anthony Reed.
Aye.
Sherry Samuels. Not present. Carrie Singh. Not present. Carl Stricker.
aye.
Benga Severe.
Aye.
Luke Salvados,
Aye.
Deborah Walker,
Aye.
Ryan Walters, not present. Deborah
Oh.
Terada,
This is Theodore James C. I'm sorry.
what is your vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Esther Yema,
Aye.
Beatrice Coronel,
Aye.
and the ayes have it.
So now we're going to vote on each individually.
That's correct. Each individual letter.
The
The
first
first
one
one is Jewish.
go ahead, Carl.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
If you want to save time, you can combine both of them. If they all have the same votes.
It's anybody,
Okay.
does anybody object?
So let's have a.
First of all, are any abstentions? Hello?
Would you repeat the second vote? What are we voting for?
The second,
Voting to send the letters.
there are two letters of support. One for 4427 White Plains Road, and there's a letter of support for
3363.
3363 White Plains Road. Those are the two votes that we're looking to put in as a letter of support.
Can we have a motion, please?
I make the motion that we accept the minutes, the recommendations rather coming from the land use committee.
The letters.
Letters, sorry.
Okay.
The letters coming from the land use committee.
The letter of support. Thank you.
Letter of support for projects.
This is Robert Hall. I second.
Great.
I'm sorry, Michelle. The first person that made the motion is Denise Bond. I don't know if that came up for you.
Yes. And then Robert Hall. Sure.
Can we make sure that when we put it in, Michelle, it's for housing and land use? Because that was a dual meeting.
Great. Okay, so now we're going to move on to economic development.
No.
Well, first we have to vote.
Yeah.
Now, hello. I need to get, let me finish my job. Oh, boy. Okay, now I want to know if we can combine the two. And is there anyone who's abstaining from any of these motions, any of these letter of supports? I need to know that first off.
Yes. Sadie's abstain. Sadie Campbell, I abstain.
You abstain on both, okay. Anyone else? Any abstentions? May I have, the question is, any no's? Anyone objecting? No. No no's?
My vote remains the same.
Abstention? Ivan?
Yes.
On both, okay. Am I hearing unanimous aye on these two letters of support?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
It's over to you now.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my good friend.
You're welcome.
Okay, now we're moving on to economic development. And so a motion to accept the committee report.
So moved.
Second, John Isaac.
Michelle, did you capture that? Okay. And now we're going to.
Wait. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Are there any no's or on this report? And if you could just say
Ask
no,
what is the report?
who is this?
Give the report.
It's the economic development report. We haven't gotten to the other part yet, Victor. You're thinking.
We know the answer.
Victor, it's just on the report itself.
Yeah, well, what is the report? You're talking about economic review.
It's in reference to any of the liquor licenses that may be coming up in the next voting.
We should know the locations, though.
Okay. First
Victor,
one.
Victor, are you saying no?
I don't know what the report is. I just heard that
we need to know the locations.
Well, there's several locations. I can't give them all of them at the same time.
Well, first of all, the report concerns all the locations. That's number one. So we can vote, if you give us all the locations, we can vote on the report, and then we can vote on the individual recommendations from the report.
Okay. Let me pull up the report.
On the agenda, we have two. Would you like me to read those two?
No, those are for the voting. That's for the voting aspect.
Got
He's
it.
looking for the report on what was reported on in the meeting.
Okay.
And we had 5 sites that came in for either renewal or new licenses, and the 5 of them that were on the agenda for that evening was Fronto Star, located at 3376 Boston Road, D-Spot Cafe, located at 3511 Boston Road, Stacy Bonner, GNS Restaurant and Lounge at 4386 White Plains Road, St. Bess LLC, 4466 White Plains Road, and Jamex Sports Bar at 3447 Winchester. And these were the items that were discussed at the committee meeting. Does that answer your question, Victor?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you just are voting to accept the report now, and then we'll vote for the individual ones.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you approve it?
I abstain from that one.
Okay. Any no's in reference to the report? Do I have an unanimous aye for the report only? Do not confuse anything. The report only.
Aye.
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 Ivan, are you saying aye also? Okay. Now going
No,
on.
my vote stays the same.
Abstain?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Benitez.
You're welcome. All right, going on to the next part, I'm going on to request a recommendation to approve the liquor licenses for 2 of the establishments that came before us. The one that we're recommending for renewal of the licenses, it's known as Stacy Bonner, or AKA GNS Restaurant and Lounge. They're located at 4386 White Plains Road. And the second one is for Jamex Sports Bar, located at 3447 Baychester Avenue. And that's also a renewal. And I'm asking for the board to approve those 2 renewal licenses.
So moved.
You need a second?
Yes.
Second, I second it.
Second.
Thank you. Now, let me go and finish this up here with this.
Who's the second? I'm sorry, who's the second?
Jamex, Jamex.
No, the person who's second.
Alfredo Figueroa.
Alfredo Figueroa.
Okay.
Okay, now, do I have, in reference to this vote, let me ask, who is in the negative?
I abstain, Egeria Bennett.
Egeria?
Yes,
Um,
I
also,
abstain for
also
both.
abstaining, sorry, Shaniqua Moore.
And you're abstaining also, Shaniqua?
Yes. Thanks.
As do I, Deborah Walker.
Mr. Brown, do you vote no?
Yes, as usual.
Yes, well,
I
I
vote
didn't hear you.
no. Yes, I
ask.
vote no.
I don't even bother to ask him because I already know. Ivan, you gonna stay as you are?
No, I will accept the committee's report.
Hmm?
This is
I
not the
accept
committee's report. This
You
is for
accept the
two
committee
motions.
report, you're saying abstain on the second part?
No, I accept. Aye.
On the report?
Yes, ma'am.
And on the vote to renew, on the vote to approve of renewals, you're saying what?
Yes, Ms. Benitez. Aye.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sadie?
Aye.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, I'm just trying to capture everyone who has some comment to say. Okay, do I have a unanimous call for an aye in reference to this subject?
Aye.
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 Okay, so carried. Now, the last part of this is we need to send out a letter for St. Bess. St. Bess is located at, what bloody? St. Bess is located at, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. St. Bess is located at 4466 White Plains Road. What has happened is we received a report from the 47th precinct in regard to this establishment, and they were recommending that we deny issuance of a liquor license for this. So we need to send a letter to the New York State Liquor Authority indicating that we are going to deny issuance of a liquor license. Now I need a vote on that, to send that letter.
The motion.
Seconded.
Okay, let me go to the people who,
Ms. Benitez, I'm sorry, can I hear the person's names who first and second?
yeah, you go ahead.
Paul Stricker made the motion.
And Luke Zabras seconded.
Thank you.
I'm also writing this out, so bear with me, everyone. So what I'm asking from everyone is, are there any changes in the ones that have abstained or said no in reference to sending out a letter such as this?
Do we know what the basis of the 42nd precinct's recommendation is? This is Queenie Paniagua.
Because they have a lot of issues there with the location.
I understand that, and I read the report, but issues is a conclusory statement and means absolutely nothing. So I don't know if that.
Well, it does mean something. It means they were called to the place because there was problems in the location.
Okay, let me just read to you exactly what the police department said. Based on the history of this establishment, the police department objects to the issuance of a liquor license due to prior violations of New York State alcohol regulations and complaints from the community received via 311. And that's what they're basing their no investments to this establishment. Does that answer your question, Queenie?
It does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, can I ask the question again? Egeria, are you saying, where are you standing with this?
I say send a letter. Yes.
Okay. Ivan, what are we saying? Ivan,
I'm in agreement.
you in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you. Victor, what do you say?
I say yes, send it.
Thank you. Shanika?
Yeah, also in agreement to send.
Thank you, Shanika.
Sure.
And the last person is Deborah.
I'm in agreement to send it.
So am I hearing all in favor of sending this letter?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have
Aye.
it in reference to this. Thank you
Aye.
very much for everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Benitez.
You're welcome.
Now we're moving on to the next, transportation and capital improvement. A motion to vote on the committee report.
Point of order. I see that in today's agenda, votes are not taken on a letter to DOT, which was voted on at the meeting to convert one of the
Alex,
streets.
Look, I'll explain that in a meeting, Luke.
Okay. Thanks.
I mean in the report, I'm sorry.
What are we doing?
Set a motion on the floor.
To approve your report? I so move. Judith Benitez. I need a
I'll
second.
second it since I don't hear any seconds.
Okay.
You heard Michelle is
Second by Denise Bond, second.
Okay.
Okay, Denise, thank you.
Hi guys. Good evening, everyone. Again. The meeting that we had on the 10th was a joint meeting between the Transportation Committee and the Public Safety Committee. Mr. Figueroa, and we met with the principal of PS 68 and I think is a bus driver for PS 169. And at PS 68, there was an issue with the buses being dropped off in the morning and unsafe conditions where the kids, when coming off of the bus, be coming in contact with the vehicles in the neighborhood and people speeding through the block again. That's the typical issue. And part of it is about people being unkind to each other and not worrying about the kids and, and just being selfish. And at PS 169, since Steinwick Avenue is that street that cuts like from it turns from Dyer Avenue and it's the connection to the I-95. So everyone is like shooting through that block to try to jump on the I-95. So what needs to be done is Steinwick needs to be converted to a one-way to connect to the I-95 going south. But I tabled this motion because I wanted to meet with DOT to find out why it wasn't done before, and I think it's because of the obstructions that are on the block. So before we made a motion, I wanted to, and bring it to the full board. I want to meet with DOT and, and find out what exactly is going on. And then the next part of the meeting was we met with Best Deal Cost Service, and which we need a vote for. And a motion was made for Best Deal Cost Service to have their not liquor, but their base license renewal. Best Deal has been doing business in the neighborhood for many years. They're the I think the main provider for transportation at the Bay Plaza Mall. And I think they just bought Black and White Service. There are no complaints from the 47 precinct. So Best Deal Cost Service is in good standing. So we made a motion, and a motion was properly seconded and passed that we renew their base license.
John, that was blue and white, not black and white.
Blue.
Oh, blue and white. I'm sorry.
Blue.
Okay. Thank you for that, John.
So tonight we're gonna us vote on best deal cost service, and we're gonna meet back as a group to try to work out what's going on. Also, the PS68 of uh, Mr. Figueroa was able to call the officers at the 47th precinct, and I think they were able to bring over barricades. And if he's on, if he could report, I think he was supposed to go like the Monday to find out what was going on, and how that worked out. So if you wanna, Mr. Figueroa, if you wanna chime in and just let them know how everything went with the barricades in terms of.
I didn't stop by, but the CEO did mention that he was gonna send someone there. So
Yeah.
I mean, if he said he was gonna send the barricades, I believe him.
Yeah.
I haven't heard otherwise. Otherwise, again, my daughter goes to that school, so the principal would have said something. So I'm going to assume the barricades were provided.
Yeah. All right, great. So that's the end of our report.
Thank you, John.
John, what about the two letters? With the one with the bus stop?
Oh, that.
And
Oh, we gotta. Okay, so I'm sorry about that call. We were supposed to actually we voted before to write letters in support of the two bus stations. Carl, you wanna say which bus stops the word? The one on White Plains Road, and one on Boston Road.
What it was the bus stop moved from 232nd to 233rd Street on White Plains Road for the safety of the passengers, and the other one was to restore the BX30 to Gun Hill Road to stop the heavy traffic transferring between the new rerouted BX30 and the 28 and 38, which causes conflict between senior citizens and youth going to Evander Childs Education Center, and also takes the service away from the Boston Road corridor to Montefiore Hospital and the D train. The people who take the D train wind up paying a double fare. That's what basically was.
Okay, great. We wrote a letter in support of this before, right? So this is just going to be a follow-up letter.
We wrote a letter opposing the change in the 30, and the MTA got back to us and said that they'll look at it after a short period of time. Well, they come back and they take a day that it's a holiday or something, they come out and look at it and say, no, there's not a problem. We need them there for a 5-day week, Monday through Friday, to see the conflict between young people going to school and the senior citizens after getting off there who go to Montefiore. And the people who go to work via the D train who now have to pay 2 fares.
Okay. So those are two. Should we write 2 separate letters or have those covered in one letter?
Well, you could cover it in one letter.
Okay. So what I need two motions. A motion to accept or renew best deals car license, and then also to also write the letters to DOT.
Yeah, John, one thing we
MTA,
should vote to accept your report first.
Okay.
Isn't there a motion on the floor and carried with accepting the report? Didn't that come in? I'm not sure, but I thought I heard that.
I told you we made a motion to accept the
We
report.
did. We accepted the report.
Okay.
Denise
now-
Benitez, Judith Benitez and Denise Bond did.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So I'm going to ask the question before we go on. Is there unreadiness in reference
There's
to this?
unreadiness. There's unreadiness.
What is it, Luke?
At the meeting, we took a vote as a committee to send a letter to DOT about PS 189 to request the one-way conversion and a speed bump, and that motion passed the committee unanimously. So I'm wondering. I know that after it passed the committee, it was not included on the full board report or the agenda. How does that happen? And when something passes the committee, doesn't it have to go to the board for review?
It does look, but being that the condition on what's going on, and there was like a lot of unreadiness when we made that vote about what was going on in terms of the street condition and the rock outcropping and all that stuff. So I was thinking that we should just revisit it before we make a mistake and speak to DOT and then move forward with it.
Okay, would we have to make a motion to do that? Because, you know, from my experience.
It's just tabled until the next meeting, the motion.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Great.
Okay, I'm getting back to continuing on with this. Do I have a unanimous vote of aye in reference to accepting the report from the Transportation Committee?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, in reference to the renewal of the Best Deal car service license, do I have a unanimous vote in reference to that? Are there any no's before I go on? Are there any abstentions? Do I have a unanimous vote of aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, I guess we have one more. Am I listening to you correctly, John? There's one more that you want to the letters?
Yes, ma'am.
And the letters are for what?
The letters are to call.
MTA.
It's going to go to the MTA for the bus stop at what, 232nd
Second to 233rd.
and 233rd Street and on Boston Road. They actually changed the bus route and it's messing up what's going on in the neighborhood. So we asked them before to revisit it and to don't do it, and they did. So, you know, we have to go back to them again with that.
Okay, it's a letter to change to the MTA to change the bus stop from 232nd Street to 233rd?
Yes.
Yes, White Plains Road. Both directions, north, south.
Okay. And was there another part to that?
And also the BX30. Is it a BX30 call?
Yes,
Yes.
the BX30 should be restored to Gun Hill Road as it was previously operated, because it takes away one bus ride to Vanderchild's high school complex and Montefiore Hospital, and creates a two-fare zone for people who take the D train.
Okay, do I have any negative on this request for the letter to MTA? Is everyone in agreement with this letter to the MTA?
Aye.
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 Point of order.
Agree.
Question.
Yes, Joe.
Question.
Who's asked?
So I was wondering if we could add to this letter a request for the MTA to attend our next transportation committee meeting. I feel like that's a friendly amendment, if the chair allows.
To the letter.
Yep.
Believe me, but by the time they respond to the letter, it'll be way past our next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, could we ask them to just attend, whatever the next meeting is? to get them at the table.
Yeah, we can ask, but we don't have to vote on it. That's the chair's purview.
That's a great idea, Luke. We could do that. I'll just ask Ursula.
Okay, so I am hearing a unanimous vote in reference to the two letters.
Correct.
Board, is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes, aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you all for your cooperation.
Aye, aye, aye.
Thank you all. Okay. Moving on. Next item on the agenda, we're about to wrap up. There's no old business or new business on the agenda at the moment. And so I just want to thank you all for joining and for your patience. And we will see you at our gathering on the 16th.
And close the meeting, please.
And I'd like a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second, Robert Hall, second.
Thank you.
Gobble, gobble, everybody. Gobble, gobble.
Happy holidays. Have a
All
blessed
right,
one.
bye.
A reminder, there's no general board meeting in December.
Okay, God bless you all.
God bless you, Carl.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night, all.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.